It was recently brought to light that Tyson Fury had feared he was suffering from brain damage, which ultimately led to his early retirement call from the sport of boxing. This happened soon after his fight with Deontay Wilder. If you want to learn more about why Fury retired, be sure to stick around till the end of the video. Let's get right into it. First up, Tyson Fury is retiring? In a shocking turn of events, Tyson Fury came out and announced that his most recent bout with Deontay Wilder was the main reason behind his sudden retirement announcement. The fight was so brutal that Fury feared the worst and decided to hang up his gloves and retire from the sport permanently. In case you missed it, the Fury vs. Wilder bout took place last year in October. The bout was brutal, with the fighters sharing 5 knockdowns between them. That said, in an interesting turn of events, the Gypsy King managed to gain the upper hand in the 11th round of the fight by delivering a brutal set of blows that eventually resulted in him winning the fight due to stoppage. The man is a true menace. After the fight was over, we could all visibly see how brutally Tyson Fury had been injured. However, despite all of this, news soon broke of him entering negotiations to face off against Dillian Whyte in the coming year. That bout took place in April and ended with Tyson Fury dominating his opponent. He ended the fight with a brutal right-hand uppercut. After the fight was over, when Fury got hold of the announcer's microphone, he announced his retirement from the sport of boxing. This, of course, came as a shock to the fans, and from what we can tell, Fury was pretty double-minded about it himself, as he's since signed up to come back and face off against Derek Chisora on December 3, 2022. Next up, why did Fury announce his retirement in the first place? Soon after he announced that he would be returning to the squared circle to face off against Derek Chisora, the media and fans alike were overcome with questions about why he announced he would be retiring in the first place. Tyson Fury decided to come through and provide some much-needed answers. He talked to the media about how, after he'd knocked Wilder out and gone back to the dressing room, it wasn't like his other fights where he felt okay and ready to go. It was quite the opposite, as he didn't feel good, and when he touched the back of his head, he felt swellings as if fists were growing back there. Naturally, since this isn't something you see or feel every day, Fury got very scared about possibly having brain damage and decided to play it safe. He talked about how he thought that he had brain damage and didn't want to take any chances. He also talked about the severity of the concussion he'd suffered during the fight. It had been so bad that even though he had fallen just 2 times in the entire fight, he told the media that it felt like he'd been floored a total of 4 times. That's pretty unsettling to hear. As a result of this scary outing, he told us that he then promised his wife, Paris, that he would no longer be fighting, except for his final homecoming bout against Whyte. Coming up, did Fury's wife influence his decision that much? When it comes to Fury's decision to initially call it quits when it came to fighting, his wife played a huge role. Now, before everybody starts hating on her for robbing us of one of the greatest boxers of all time, we need to remember that, to her, Fury is also the love of her life and her husband. To her, his health is way more important than his career. While he's little more than a spectacle to us, he's something more to his wife. So, if you look at the whole thing in that way, you'll begin to understand why Fury decided to go through with the retirement. Besides, he's finished off his career with no losses. That feat alone landed him on a super exclusive list of fighters who've been able to accomplish that. To further solidify his legacy, you have to remember he defeated Deontay Wilder, who's considered one of the most dangerous heavyweights in modern times, 3 times in a row. Plus, he's been able to do all that while sporting a dad body. The man is a legend in the sport. There is no other way around it. We just hope that his decision to come back to the sport of boxing is a wise one and works out in his favor. He's an amazing fighter and has contributed a lot to the sport of boxing over the years. We're psyched to see what he can bring to the table on December 3rd. Finally, is the comeback worth it? Since Fury first announced his retirement, a lot of fans were skeptical of whether he'd end up going through with it. And sure enough, just a little while later, Fury appeared on Twitter asking for a 2022 bout with Anthony Joshua. However, to the disappointment of the fans, the fight negotiations fell through without anything being decided. Later on, from what we can tell, Fury decided to complete yet another trilogy by fighting Derek Chisora and getting back in the flow. A lot of people consider this fight to be a tune-up, with a challenging bout coming next year in the form of Alexander Usyk. It'll be a sight to behold as those two battle it out in the center of the ring. Regardless, we're pretty psyched to see Fury back in the ring as soon as possible. It'll be fun to see what he can come up with and whether he can defeat Derek Chisora in their trilogy fight showdown. Now, let's take a look at what Chisora had to say about Wilder getting emotional. First up, Chisora openly slams Wilder for getting emotional. The Del War boy is gearing up for his trilogy fight against Tyson Fury and is ready to steal both the show and the win. Having lost both of his previous 2 fights against Fury, Chisora doesn't exactly seem to have earned the fans' confidence when it comes to him winning this fight. Still though, there's no denying the fact that he was one of the toughest boxers in the division. Having spent 15 years going up against the likes of Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, and Alexander Usyk, the man has gone through it all, and nothing can surprise him anymore. Recently, when Deontay Wilder got a bit emotional while talking to the media about the trials and tribulations boxers have to go through, Chisora had no problem calling him out. Chisora criticized the former world champion for getting emotional in front of the media. See, Wilder had just come out of his latest bout against Robert Helenius and was asked about his thoughts on boxers getting serious injuries in the form of brain damage. Next up, why did Chisora get mad? Even for those of you who watched Chisora's whole press conference and all, you guys might still be confused as to why he got so mad at Deontay Wilder. See, the thing was that in Chisora's mind, he likes to make money and treats it like any other job. So he didn't see the sense in getting emotional over the byproduct of doing his job. He even went so far as to talk about how Wilder had been hurt by Fury so badly that it had messed up his head, and that was why he was being so emotional when addressing boxers and the turmoil they go through daily. He poked a bit of fun at Wilder as well by talking about how even saying hello to him might result in him bawling his eyes out. We don't have much to say in this regard. We do think Chisora might be coming off as a little harsh. Wilder might just be speaking his heart out about how bad he feels when it comes to boxers and the conditions they are forced to live in. Finally, was Chisora justified? We can't take sides in this scenario. However, we can tell you both sides of the story and leave you to decide for yourself. Chisora is ready to face off against Tyson Fury, and the excitement and anticipation for that fight might be a big reason why he said what he said. Despite the odds being stacked against him, he remains hopeful that he can pull off an upset victory. We guess we'll just have to wait and see to find out what ends up happening. There's no denying the fact that boxing does have a lasting effect on an individual's health. It's quite obvious that getting battered over and over for the better part of a decade can't be good for you. Still, Chisora is taking the more masculine route when it comes to addressing these issues. Regardless, we're sure that fans are pretty hyped to see how it all goes down when he finally steps into the ring with Tyson Fury. Well, that's a wrap for this video. Do you think Tyson Fury can beat Derek Chisora? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.